All right, guys, so we're going to start to get into authentication, and we're going to be using the Google provider with OAuth. So you do need to get an API key, a client ID, and a Google client secret. So you're going to log into Google and go to console.cloud.google.com. And if you don't already have a project created, create a new one. I'll just create a new one for this, and I'll just call it Property Pulse and create. Okay, so that might just take a second. All right, and I'm going to select that project. You can see that's up here now in this select box. Then you want to go to APIs and Services and then click on Credentials. Okay, so from here, we're going to want to create, create credentials. So right here, and you want to choose OAuth Client ID. Okay, so a client ID is used to identify a single app to Google's OAuth servers. That's what we want to do. If your app runs on multiple platforms, each will need its own client ID. Okay, so we're going to click on this Configure Consent screen. Here we're going to click Create and then give it an app name. Let's say Property Pulse App. Support email. Just choose your Google email. You can upload a logo if you want. And then this stuff here, you don't have to put in yet. I mean, we don't have an actual domain. We're working on the local hosts. So right here, you don't want to add a domain because it won't let you use localhost, but localhost will be authorized. And then here, just put an email address. And then save and continue. Next, we have scope. So this is basically the permissions that you're going to allow. So I'm going to click Add Remove Scopes. And the two that we want are the email. So see your primary Google account email address. We want to check that. And see your personal info, including any personal info you've made publicly available. So basically our username, email, Google ID, and the image. I think those are the main things that will be shared. And that's it. We don't need any of this big query stuff. So update. Okay, and then let's see. Down here, you've restricted. No, we should be good. So let's click Save and Continue. And then users. So this is where you're going to add your Google accounts that you want to test with, because you can't just log in with any Google account if we're in test mode. So I'm going to add user, and I'm going to add two of my Google accounts. One, don't use this, obviously, use your own. So I'm going to do traversymedia@gmail. I'm going to add that user. I'm also going to add another Gmail account I have, techguyinfo@gmail. And if you can have two Gmail accounts, that would really help, because then you can test different users. Because we're going to have different, obviously, if a user creates a listing, only that user can manage that listing, that property. So it's good to have two users to test with. So I'm going to add those two emails and then save and continue. Okay. And then once you go out of test mode, then any email can, any Gmail account can join. All right, so that should be all set. Let's go back to dashboard. Yeah, so when you publish your app, that's when you don't need to add test users anymore. So, yeah, I think we're good. Let me just check. Let's go to credentials. Yeah, so now we want to create an OAuth client ID. Application type is going to be web application. I'll just use, we'll use web client 1. And then here we do need to add our local host, I believe. So let's say HTTP localhost 3000. Yep, so we'll add that. And then here for the redirect URL, we're going to add this. Let's get rid of that. We just want that there. And then the redirect is going to be, let's see, what is the redirect going to be? I think it's going to be callback. Yeah, so here we want to put, localhost 3000 slash API slash callback slash, I'm sorry, API slash auth slash callback slash Google. And this is in the next auth documentation. So we'll add that as our redirect URI. Please review and update or remove the invalid fields. Oh, this right here. Get rid of that. All right, so you want to add those two. And create. Okay, so now we have our client and secret. So let's copy the client ID. Let's go to our .env. And let's say Google underscore client underscore ID. Set that to that. Okay, then we want our Google underscore client underscore secret, and then that's going to be this. So we'll copy that, paste that in there. Okay, and don't use mine. I'm going to disable mine, so you're wasting your time. Okay, and then let's click OK, and we should be all set as far as all this goes. Okay, once we set up next auth, we should be able to use the Google provider. So let's make sure we save this file and close it. And then in the next video, we'll go ahead and install next auth, and we'll start to set up our Google provider there.